Bosch mid-drive system has always required you to be in the right gear to get the right level of assistance from the motor. For those who aren't quick on gear changes or haven't ridden a bicycle in a long time, the experience can be challenging. Gepida's solution to this? The automatic shifting Reptila 1000. It's equipped with the new Bosch Gen 2 active line and an Da Vinci Harmony, making it the first automatic shifting electrical bicycle in Australia and one of the first in the world.
So let's get all the basics out of the way. The Reptila has all the features you would come to expect in a commuter.
A simple and elegant step-through design and large 700 by 38C wheels, allowing you to get on and off the bike with ease. Front and rear lights that are both bright and run off the dynamo hub. Integrated mudguards and kickstand. A pannier rack which also houses the battery and rated up to 25 kilograms. Comfort style handlebars with optional ergo grips and a wide and comfortable saddle. A wheel lock which uses the same key to lock the battery and optional plug-in chain. No more having to carry around 2 sets of keys.
Powerful Magura HS11 hydraulic rim brakes. No more having to tighten your cables.
This is actually the exact same bike I used in the spring cycle ride that took me from North Sydney to Olympic Park and then on to home. A 110-kilometre journey. It's also the same bike I used in a 90-kilometre Sydney to Wollongong ride.
Now there's no doubt this is a comfortable bike. But what I love most and what separates this bike from every other comfort bike I know is the Da Vinci Harmony. It gives a whopping 360% gear ratio, larger than an 11-speed mountain bike cassette and more than its internal hub competitors. It allows you to change gears when you're stopped, as well as when you're in a hill climb and you need to usually remove load off the pedals. With this system, you don't have to do any of that. So there's no crunching of gears. There's no having to take off any load when you're actually in a hill climb to change gears as well. With the older standard Da Vinci system, you could definitely feel some resistance when trying to change gears while the internal hub system was loaded. And an example of that, is in a steep hill climb where you're putting a lot of strain on the pedals.
Thanks to the all-electronic live-by-wire technology, the Harmony has no resistance from the twist shifter. No more cables under tension and no more having to remove load from the pedals while shifting gears.
And to my favourite part, the automatic shifting. So the Da Vinci Harmony has 2 modes. The first one's a manual mode indicated by the orange hill and a little bike rider on the bottom. And as you can see, as I twist this shifter, the animation of the hill, you can see it going up and then going down. And this pretty much means that you're in a steep climb, so you need a nice high cadence. And the lower you go means, hey, I'm on a flat or I'm going downhill, so I'm in a very, very high gear. Now hitting the mode button takes you to automatic mode, and this is where you set your preferred cadence. Now you're setting a cadence which pretty much means you're telling the system how much you want to be pedaling. Now if you set it really low here, you're telling it, hey, I want a really low cadence, which is good for going down hills and good for going on a flat if you've got a bit of a tailwind. And as you shift up, you're telling it, hey, I want a high cadence, so I want to be pedaling much more. So this is usually good for very hilly terrain where you might live in a very hilly suburb, so you don't want to be constantly putting in a lot of effort and sweating your guts out. So you want to maybe have a really high cadence set, so every time you tackle those hills, it automatically tries to match that high cadence of yours to tackle these hills. You can see as I begin accelerating that the Harmony detects that my cadence is increasing and then continually shifts up to match my set cadence. Even if I come to a stop from a high gear, from going fast, as I stop and then begin accelerating again, the system detects a very low cadence, so shifts, pretty much all the way down to really help me get off the mark as if I was already in the lowest gear.
An excellent feature if you're constantly stopping and starting.
As I approach this hill, the Harmony senses that my cadence is going down, so I begin shifting down to make my life feel a little bit easier.
Although the Harmony chooses the correct gear 99.9% of the time, there are instances you'll need to override it.
Now the Harmony system doesn't know you're in a steep climb, so it'll simply try and match your cadence that you've set. Generally speaking, when you're in a steep hill climb, it's preferred to have a high cadence to help take strain off your legs and to avoid stalling as well. Because the Harmony just simply tries to match the cadence you've set, it doesn't know that you need to shift to the lowest gear possible to help you climb this hill. This is the only time that you'll need to override the Harmony system and tell it, hey, I need to be in a higher cadence, i.e. I need to be in the lowest gear possible to help me climb this hill.
You might be asking, why wouldn't you have it set to that cadence in the first place?
Now setting it to such a low cadence means that you'll be freewheeling down any hill or down any flat, and you can see here how many revolutions I'm doing of the pedals, and I know that I'm in too low of a gear for this terrain.
The gear ratios favour the higher end of gears, so you do need to put in some effort, as you can see when climbing quite a moderate grade of the 12%.
Now this is where the wide gear ratios excel. Still being able to pedal at such a high speed. I'm not even freewheeling, I'm actually feeling resistance. And did I mention how amazing these brakes are?
It's a beautifully simple and accurate system in the way it does things, and without having to constantly shift gears, you get more time to enjoy everything else. It's an incredible feeling gaining speed on a bike without having to continue to shift up or having to shift down every time you stop. Finding the perfect cadence to set the Harmony to does take some practice, but once you get it right, it's likely you won't ever need to touch the twist shifter again. Which is so important with these mid-drive systems, where being in the right gear is so critical to getting the right level of power. Now we've covered the workings of the Bosch Classic Plus mid-drive system on the Gepida mountain bike, but what makes the Bosch Gen 2 system different?
Now there's zero delay the instant you apply any force on the pedals. It offers excellent power, and although it's 2 Nm of less torque compared to the Classic Plus system, there's no doubt that this Gen 2 system is a step forward. The Intruvia heads-up display has also been slightly redesigned and now features an odometer, which actually wasn't on the Classic Plus system, which is a bit strange considering a system of this caliber. You would expect something like this to come across all their ranges. But anyway, that is a new addition to the Intruvia. The active line system is also much quieter than the Classic Plus system.
The drive unit is also smaller and sits higher on the bottom bracket, giving more clearance, preventing you from bottoming out.
The torque sensor on the Gen 2 systems is also more accurate in detecting when to give you assistance and how much assistance to give you. Three different sensors on the Gen 2 systems are measuring 1,000 readings per second, compared to the Classic Plus system where it was only measuring 100 readings per second. Although hard to describe in words, especially when you've ridden a lot of bikes that have been equipped with torque sensors, it does feel like a more accurate sensor than the previous generation, as well as the Bionic systems and the BH systems, and that's because I can feel that it's picking up on very minute changes of cadence as I'm pedaling. It's just seamless, and it really does feel like a very fluid system. With so many Bosch bikes starting to hit our Australian shores, people tend to forget about the componentry on all these bikes, such as the brakes, the frame material, the wheels, the rims, the tyres. and they'll tend to think that all Bosch-equipped bikes are created equal.
This is known as the Bosch effect, which is currently sweeping Europe, and we're here to tell you not all Bosch-equipped bikes are created equal.
The Reptila truly is a get-on and get-off commuting solution in its simplest form. Bundled with an Vinci Harmony, you no longer have to worry about crunching gears, you no longer have to worry about being in the right gear, you no longer have to worry about shifting. It truly is the ultimate commuting solution.
It has truly set a new benchmark for comfort bikes in 2014, and it's why we've awarded it a Gold EBR medal.